Hi everyone. So today I'm going to make a glass angel using thrift store glassware. It's something I can put out in the garden. So I'm going to start with a vase. I got this big vase at a thrift store for a couple bucks. These are probably like some kind of glass serving trays, but I thought they looked like angel wings, so I'm going to use these for the back. I found this crackle glass. It's a light, but it's glass, so I'm going to use this for the head. And of course I have glass bowls and other things that I'm going to use. I'm going to use E6000. It's premium. This is a newer kind. It works really well, so I'm going to use that. And I have some beads and gems that I'm going to use for decoration. Alright, so I'm going to get started. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is glue the wings onto this bowl. I needed some way to attach the wings to the back of this vase. This is going to be upside down like this. In order to attach the wings onto the back of this vase, I'm going to glue this bowl onto the back and attach the wings to the bowl like that. I'm not sure how other people do it, but that's what I'm going to do. Okay, these need to tilt up a little bit, so I'm going to put a gem underneath it. Like this. And that'll hold it up. Let's see. Like that. Alright, so I'll put glue on the edge. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this bowl, this fancy bowl, upside down onto the bottom of the vase like that. And then the head is going to be glued on top like that. So now I'm going to glue the glass ball on the top. Okay, so I think I'll let that dry a little bit. Let's see how long it takes. It says it takes 24 hours to cure. Okay, so now I'm going to put this little dish on top of the head like this. And I'm going to have a crown on top. Like that. Alright. There we go. Okay, so I think I'll let all of this dry overnight since it takes 24 hours to cure. And then tomorrow I'll put the wings on, and then maybe I'll put some gems and beads on there for decoration. So I realized I'd put the wings on upside down on the bowl, so I had to flip them over and re-glue them. So now that's right, and I'll be able to glue it onto the vase tomorrow after that dries. Okay, so I let this dry for 24 hours. Let's see how it holds up. It's nice and tight. So I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to glue it onto the back of this big vase. Let's see how this holds up. Like that. Let's see. I need to get some supports. Okay, because the vase is at an angle, I had to put a little plate underneath here to tip it up. And I'll glue it on here like this. And of course the head fell off. I'll have to re-glue that, probably because it's on plastic. I'll glue that back on when I'm done. Had to put a weight in the back to hold it in place. But have it glued right in the center. And I'll let this dry overnight too. Okay. Okay, so I had a little problem with the E6000. I found out that this still remains a little bit flexible, and so it doesn't stick real well for like hanging weight, something that's heavy. So epoxy still works better for hanging weight, and if it's stacked weight like this top, the E6000 works fine. But I ended up having to take this off, and then I put epoxy underneath it instead. So, yep. I gotta remember how the great glue experiment that I did worked. So, epoxy is always best for hanging weight. And then E6000 or GE silicone is okay for stacked weight. At least that's what works for me. So, yep, so I had to re-glue that, and then I'll re-glue the top part here with epoxy too. And I'll just keep the E6000 on the rest of it. I like JB Weld because it has a twist-on cap, so you can reuse it. Okay, so I let this epoxy dry overnight on the wings, and that is holding much better. That is nice and tight. So I'm going to do the same thing for the glass globe. It's going to be the head on top. I'm going to use epoxy for that too. So there we go. Let that dry a little bit, and then I'm going to start putting some beads and gems on there to fancy it up a little bit. But it looks pretty good. Okay, first I'm going to glue some of these gems on here, give it a little color. I'm going to put on all the points of this bowl here. So I'm going to use E6000. Okay, so now I'm gonna put some around the crown here too. Give that some color. Okay, so now I'm going to try gluing some silver beads onto the crown. Put them on the edges here and maybe on the tips here. Okay, I glued all the silver beads on. I used a larger one for this part and then the tinier beads for the crown. I used E6000 for all of it. But I think that looks good. I don't want to overdo it. But it just gives it some more color, makes it a little more fancy. So I'll let that dry for a little bit and then I'll finish it up.